Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me at this hour. Welcome to 254 edition of Investdata Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, I would say sorry for starting a bit late. Just once my job put it on at the background. Yes, I would say that the market, so are the international market. As usual, we are seeing that the market is still maintaining the the dicey phase or trend we have been seeing, especially when it's opening in this morning at this hour when we're starting to see the market trying to open in a mixed trend that have been sustained even from Monday to date. At this hour, we're also seeing that mixed opening in this different market as we speak now. But the good thing is that no the fear of Fed rate rise has continued to dampen the investors' confidence. But like I said, that the good thing is that corporate earnings that are coming, that's why we're seeing some gloomy one or disappointing numbers. We're seeing that some industry or sectors are also posting positive numbers to kind of guide investors, portfolio reshuffling or sectoral rotation. But the good thing is also that many investors are looking for safe haven because the alternative investment window like the fixed income interest in this mature market are becoming interesting because of high yield over there, and that is why you see the funds in this market are moving from different industry to industry and out of the market again. And all eyes, I will tell you, the way analysts are looking at this banking of financial results at this time is very critical. They are looking at because of what has happened in those industry at this period. That is why, as we speak now, all eyes are on this market. Like some are also saying that taking a critical decision on what to do in this period because of what because of the incident. All eyes on financials for this company doing a critical analysis to exactly know what to do with this company's earnings. But the good thing is that, as I always say, that as an investor, you don't keep your eyes just closed when you are investing. You need to combine your fundamental and your technical analysis. As earnings are flooding the market now, both the telecom giant, all are raising a number. Analysis are going on in this domain, all those different domain because of result, and that we are not left behind here in Nigeria. Only that concern of slowdown in in demand as a result of fear of recession is also making most of the market to look down as we speak, which also have been extended to the oil market. You can see that crude oil has pulled back to around 81.27 dollars as we speak now, as fear of dampened demand because of recession. Despite we're seeing this economic data from different economy, we're also knowing that all eyes are on this what are on this data, and because it has a role of a kind of driving investor sentiment. These are the things that is shaping the market in this hour. That means investors in this market should also keep their eyes on the numbers that are coming. Since there are other sectors they can also look at to take decision. I think it is for me it's a good one to look at those industries or sectors where you see a margin of improvement in their earnings. That will go a long way to also to support their performance at the end of the day. You don't need to panic. Just make sure that you are in the right word, in the right sector. And I tell you that as far that inflation continues to go up, which is I know that is a canker one fighting all the central banks as we speak now, and interest rate remain up, economy will continue to contract, and that is why the World Bank make it on it in their last meeting that most central banks should go back and start adjusting what their interest rate normalize, which I know is not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight, but because of what? Because of rate is high, inflation is high, they do it gradually, and that is the fear that is also putting this mixed sentiment in different domains. Both in Asia market as speak now, Asia market is still mixed, and that of what is happening in Ukraine and Russia is not so helping matter as fear, the political tension is increasing. That's why the economy globally is fragile, as I said yesterday. The fear is on a high increase now because of this testing of weapon on here and there, and the way they are going offensive attack here and there, it might lead to something else. But I believe that the leaders in this domain should also think twice that even when you go into war, you are not going to have what I call proof on your head when you are walking on the street. It just means that everyone in the market should also know exactly what to do at this time. That is the best way to invest as an investor. Look at what to do now and that will guide you to know exactly what you are likely to do, because these numbers that are coming and the sentiment are very, very important. As we come to discuss, the number that were released recently in the market, I will tell you the importance of sentiment and liquidity in the market, and also perception of investors, how it play out what in the market and individual stock or in a sector. Once you're able to grab it, that will go a long way to also help you to know exactly what to do per time when it comes to what taking an investment decision, as what investor should take and what you should also look at when you are investing is very, very important, because this will also guide you at any given time as a trader or investor in the market. Yes, we'll quickly look at this numbers that were released in the market. I told you what is happening in the African market. Mixed, but Nigeria market has sustained a positive trend from what we saw, starting from like 2 days ago, after the market has really, suffered a strong pullback to confirm a decline phase of the market. And there are two major factors that really contribute to this. Okay, let me say three major factors. One is the high cap stock suffering loss. People are selling off just to position in those low cap stock that their dividend yield is high. Let's make it clear. And also price adjustment for dividend of those high cap companies also due to that pay their dividend. That, and at the same time, similarly, one relative low liquidity in the system. And now that we are seeing that these companies have marked down, their AGM has come, and most of them have declared they have paid their cash dividend that have provide liquidity for the market, both individual stock that they paid or the company, because when some would like to reinvest their money back, while some will take it nothing, but most high players in the market, institutional player or fund managers, because this investment is like a fresh fund, is going back to the market, and most stock are pulled back. Now we're seeing that, you can see that buyers have taken charge of the market. We saw the kind of reversal. Still watching, because it is not, we have not confirmed it, but there's a clear that buyers are taking charge of the market. As from Tuesday, we saw it at the midweek, almost 100% buy yesterday, and that trend has been sustained this morning. That is a good thing for the market. But before we go to look at the live market, we want to look at these numbers that were released to the market yesterday, and we discussed we saw the life of Transcorp Hotel first quarter in the market yesterday. We saw that of Union Bank a full year in the market, Wima Bank also, and the latest one that was one of the first year bank that came, Access Corp. And that tells you that these numbers also can see how they are trying to play out in the market. This morning, you can see the sentiment for positive payout. Now it might be like all the missed number was saying, but this one positive payout in the financial sector. I'll tell you, this is one of the the biggest payout we have seen in the not in naira, but in terms of growth. But as you can see, so I paid at 290, 280 for assets, for where it's coming from. Investors have looked at this is another phase that Access is entering with this their payout. I will start with Access number and look at the that of Women Bank. Then we'll continue the remaining one in the live class tomorrow. And tomorrow we're having a guest speaker in the lab. This also a evangelist and also a technician that are also looking at in this period of what of transit government, what the uncertainty environment, how can you invest now that liquidity is coming back gradually? Is there a market for these local players alone? Which sector we're looking at? And this all will be discussed in the in the live class over the weekend. Coming on Saturday by 12 noon. For those that are in that class without people, if you are not taking advantage of it, yes, we have the discount period has elapsed on the 31st of March. You can still go in at this. The fee for a whole year is 70k now. That means you are paying now. It's going to be till April, till let's say March this time again. That will make it 1 year before you pay. You are not left out. You have opportunity also to come, and this is what we're doing. I'll tell you, those that are in that group, they will also tell you what they are gaining. And I'll tell you, the last master class, we have seen a good run. All the stuff that were given, that can see all of them looking up, as you speak. Even those that have not hit their target, some are also hit their target already. You need to take advantage of this as an investor in the market. It's very, very also important for you to to also take advantage of it, because that's why you are also in the market. You need to take advantage of it. Is very, very important, so that at the end of the day we all have cause to smile, and that's why we are investors in this market. Yes, I'm looking at Access now. Access Corp now, sorry. Access Corp, full year audited result was released yesterday, I will saw that the gross earnings maintain a good growth. I will tell you this is almost two times what the inflation rate is today, and that should open your eyes where you should be. Which sector is beating, inflation? There are some sectors that they can't near what inflation is doing. Their earnings below because of the economy is struggling. But which sector or industry is beating inflation is very key to know. And despite that, we saw a kind of a decline in their, in their PAT, which we know as a result that they made provision for the debt problem in Ghana, and that they have operation there. For me, it's a good sign that this bank has taken control of the market, especially as they're expanding into what African country. Now that we're seeing this payment, it was not done on them to start looking at what how to manage their cost at the end of the day so that they have a robust bottom line to also to pay higher dividend. But with this lift we have seen, or kind of lift we have seen in their payout, it's a good one, it's a good sign for assets. And if it's sustained, that means that assets, we don't expect assets to be paying you 130, 120 going to the future if they maintain this their world capacity. Don't know that now they have come fully to what to a holding company. Now, before it was like the bank. Now with the holding company and also with the expansion we are seeing, we expect to see a better payout. But now they are giving us a signal, and that also tell you that the psychology or the perception of investor will change. You can see that as a psychology sentiment now. You can see despite the liquidity is not in the market as well, you can see that today it has gained almost 10%. Why? Because of what? But we have seen opportunity in that stuff. Sentiment is positive. Any is pointing somewhere. It is a bank that the first bank in Nigeria to to cross a trillion gross earnings. For me is a good one. The top line moved from 972.89 billion to 1.39 trillion. That is 42.81. That is 42% up for what for 2022. But the PAT as a result of provision, but we can also see that if you look at the company, no interest income, I will tell you most of the company, even gross earnings was not up to this bank, no interest in interest income alone for the year, because this bank, despite that PAT, declined to 152.20 billion compared to 160.22 billion the previous year. But the company alone within this year, the year under review, they recorded interest income of 769.96 billion against 519.42. You can see only the interest, there's a lot of other income. Why you can see that? They look at the company, how their net foreign influence also help them also to support this period. For me, that is the importance of expanding your work. Yeah, despite that there will be increased risk because you are operating in different domain, because different countries has their different laws or regulatory, but the same financial sector. But what it will boost your earning because of the interest rates in different domain where you operate. It's going to reflect also on your what on your performance. I will tell you in Africa, it's Egypt and Nigeria that was that inflation is still on the high track, but others are starting kind of stabilizing. That means we see, but because this bank is operating on all this, we expect that this high interest we have seen across the globe is also going to impact on them until start seeing slow down and other things. If not that, what happened in Ghana affected them, we have seen a better number in terms of bottom line. But good thing that they maintain a position of paying because they saw what investor did when they did that when their interest what their interim dividend was dropped from 30 kobo to 20 kobo. All eyes were on it. If there's that kind of mistake this time, we have seen how market that perception is very key. That perception is what provides liquidity. That's why our money flow is very, very important. Now you can see that fund entering in assets has improved because of what this payout and people traffic going there. That's why I tell you as a trader investor, you look at your chart to give you information. You see this number already, the chart is already reflecting what the chart is telling us. That's why we need to always do this as investor or trader so that at the end of the day we'll take that decision. As I said earlier, that the profit after tax moved from drop from 160.22 billion to 152.2 billion. That is negative 5% down as we speak. But earning per share also reflected the decline. It now translated to 44 naira 44 kobo against 4 naira 58 kobo in the previous year for me. And the profit margin, yes, that despite all these costs, you can see that the profit margin remain above 10%. Despite that, it's not too attractive. You can see the life of GTB posting about 31 against 38 they did the previous year. Zenith Bank almost 30 or so, but assets were seeing 10.97 net of profit margin against 16.49. You can see there's a decline, but good thing is that it's above 10. So that in every 1 naira, about 10 kobo or 11 kobo is retained as for profit. Once they stop this aggressive acquisition, we might see this also reflecting on what on their cost of fund, and that will be better for assets But one thing that is very clear that Access grew their final payouts from 70 kobo to 1 naira 30 kobo, bringing a total of what 1 naira 50 kobo dividend payout for 2022 against 1 naira they paid the previous year. They paid 30 kobo the previous year and the final of what 70 kobo. That makes it 1 naira against what 1 naira 50 kobo. You can see the kind of growth we have seen in this payout. It's also a reflection of what we are seeing at the top line, but we need that same thing to repeat on what on the bottom line at the end of the day. But if you look at the operating cash flow for Access, yes, it slowed down to around the 935.6 billion from 961.990. And also, if you look at the advances load and advances too, you can see that they also expanded that. You can see these are what that's why you are seeing that sharp kind of growth in what in their interest income that moved from 519.42 to 769. For me, there is potential for Access. For those that will be patient, let's see and go. Now that they're giving us investors sign where they are going, it's the time for us to also go ahead with them already as investor already there. Okay, we'll quickly look at Wima Bank. Wima Bank, I'll tell you, this bank is coming up gradually and fast. And for me, it's a good one, also a challenge to a bank like FCMB. FCMB management to sit down and rethink. Yes, you can see that Wima Bank is not a holding company, it's still a single bank with the performance and reward to shareholders. I think it is time for bank like FCMB to have a rethink. You can't have about any per share about 1 naira 65 kobo and we are paying 25 kobo. Why a bank that is you are holding company that almost have by 5 subsidiary company, you have pension, you have stockbroking firm, you have microfinance, you have all of them as a holding company. Why Wima Bank standing alone as we speak now at the gross earning of 132.3 billion against 93.63 billion, with about 41% up in the green. And also PAT of women moved from 8.93 billion to 11.35 billion, 27% in the green, which is good for women bank. This translates to an earning per share of 88 kobo against 69 kobo, and out of 88 kobo, they are paying 30 kobo as final as a dividend for the year against 24 kobo paid in 2021. You can see that there is a growth in this payout from what for me it's a good one. The stock is selling around the 380 to 4 naira. You can see what they are paying, and even FCMB that paid also that same the 25 kobo is selling even high above Women Bank before they pay that, and because of the markdown and also the poor payment, that's why the price is around the 355 now. But you can see that this is a good one for Women Bank. For me, it's a good start, but they can do more. And if I look at Women Bank, profit margin of 8.58% against 9.3. These are to reflect the high cost of also for running their business, which all banks are not left out. They are all the same, but you can see that this bank also need to do more so that it can improve their cost management, become efficient in terms of all about 132 billion made, 11%, 11.35 billion. You can see that they need to do more so that they can close the gap between the top line. Just like what we saw in Access Bank, about 1.39 trillion. We're having about 100. We understand the huge provision that made for the Ghana issue for Access, but this is also a good number from Wima Bank. That means that growing your dividend is another way of selling company. That's why every bank across the globe, investors to look at they have how regular are they paying their dividend and what is that their balance sheet strength. For Access Bank, I've said that's a good robust balance sheet, about almost 14.5 trillion balance sheet. For me, it's a good one for Access. I mean, total assets for me is a good one. That's a robust balance sheet to reckon with. Here, we now go to life to work to see what the life market is doing. We need to look at it because we are seeing activities in the market now as we speak. As we speak, the market is doing 51,324.67, up by 140 146.26. That's 0.28, which is almost 3%, 0.3% as we speak. But I will tell you, this is a good one. And also seeing that the markets on a positive market bread, we're having about 18 gainers against just 7 losers at this hour now in the market. And it tells you that buyers are really taking charge. I told you yesterday, market closed with 100% buy position for investor, which is a good one. But if you look at those stocks that are on the top loser chart, you can see that NGS Group, and I'm not surprised that this stock is among them. NGS Group did not, reward investors for their for 2022, and since then the number were not good. Now we're looking at to see the first quarter. The stock is leading with about 6.something% down, followed by Wapik, which is the coronation. We are seeing that livestock that gained yesterday also are pulled back again this morning, and the QTs and the Capaton, these are the top five losers as to speak. But we'll go to the gainer chart to see what is happening there. On the gainer chart, you can see that the Access Bank, market will respond to positive number, like we said in this class, that market will reward good performance, especially even though the performance is not too good, but means because of there was good reward for shareholders, they are the ones that play the market. You can see 10% in the green. We also seen that the Transcorp Hotel that really the first quarter, which I told you earlier that we'll be discussing that in the coming live class on Saturday. Also, it's 10% up also in the green, followed by Transcorp itself, Transcorp Corporation. That is also 10% in the green. Around the to speak now 45 245 kobo. Fidelity is doing a 280 as well. The result of access scam. People are already looking at that Fidelity. You can see that Fidelity is doing almost 286 naira, is heading to 9.8% in the green. FCMB also is back to around the 3 naira 80 kobo, 81 kobo, which is good. Also 9%. You can see this result that came from assets have opened eye to see that we're going to see a better financial for Q1 as the assets have reviewed and other financial sector. But these numbers is what will support this company, knowing that our central bank, we have not seen sign of them slowing down interest rate high, but I think that will be at the expense of the economy if they continue. But on the strength of inflation, if that is their goal, inflation remain in the northward direction, and that means they are likely. But for me, I think it's time for them to think twice and look elsewhere. You can't make inflation interest rate for a nation about almost 18.5 or 19. That will be clean. I'll tell you, this is the highest interest rate Nigeria ever had since independent. We need to, or since democracy came to our nation, we need to also look at it. We believe that the incoming government should also put plan how to crash it and also make sure that the foreign exchange market and the sentiment to drive the economy, the production sector of the economy is given to keep us in the proper direction. Yes, if you also look at the in terms of volume, I tell you that activities is very, very important. That's why volume any day, anytime give you an insight what is happening. This morning, on the strength of assets result, now we're seeing a volume of about 127.9 million shares have traded so far. And I'll tell you, this volume is coming from a purpose. And I'll tell you now that we have seen assets move. Most institutional investors that are sitting on the fence in Access Bank, and that those that already had that have not increased his assets moving up and down of payout after they pay their debt where interim 30 kobo, they came down at 20 kobo. They are still watching to see what asset, but with this payout assets have exhibited now, that will change the face. We might see more volume. Obviously, keep attention, volume and numbers. Earnings power of any company is very, very important, or corporation. Let's keep our eyes on it. Followed by UBA. UBA, result Q1 is still good, but it's still trading below 8 naira. It's doing a 7 naira 80 kobo. For me, it's a good one, rebounding from the markdown, and it's doing a 23 million share traded so far. Followed by Transcorp, I was seeing a 21.7 million share traded in Transcorp. Fidelity is not left behind here. You can see that the financials are the one dominating in terms of activities. Fidelity is doing a 12.3 million shares, followed by Zenith Bank at 21.95, 7.5 million shares so far. For me, the financial sector is taking the shine this morning, and that has a lot of what resilient in their performance. Our banks, I feel that yes, while other domains are critically examining their bank because of what has happened in Europe and US, our CBN has confirmed that our banks are healthy and numbers that we're seeing, and also pointing that these banks are strong. That's a kind of a good news for our local investor here, and that I believe that once we get it right, these are things that will attract foreign investor because our banks are becoming stronger, and you know that when banks are stronger, it will have what supporting the economy. Only that the interest rate, because of what the CBN are doing to money interest, have not helped will help the public or the economy because of high cost of borrowing. I believe that once we're able to get it right and start seeing a declining interest rate, the economy will start benefiting, and also that will also oil ecosystem and unemployment will reduce as we go into the future. Yes, now we have seen the market activities. Let's go back to straight to the chart, and the chart will tell us what to do at this hour. already we have seen a build up here. For me, it's still a consolidation because between this red bullish bearish candlestick to here, we're only just seeing a consolidation that is showing a sign of recovery until we break out this red bearish candle here. We'll not say market has, but once able to break it out, what about 1.94 is what they lost here. Market is trying to was able to cover, but like I said, market is still consolidating, and but it already giving a sign of rebound. Want to see how it's going to once you break it out. We'll not say market has already break out for another strong recovery. We're still watching, but it's a good thing that for the past 3 days we're seeing a positive market. After seeing all this while, you can see that market was down. You saw that after market was down here, we saw about 3 days up here before it gave up again. Now that we're seeing, because let's see how far it will go. But it's a good news that the market is recovering. Quickly, let's call our indicators to see what is happening in the market right away, and what investors should be doing with this trend. Knowing that today is the last trading day of the week, as a result of what? As a result of the holiday for our Muslim brothers, to celebrate after their fasting. Let's quickly look at what the market is doing in terms of fundamental technicals. Look at money flow. Gold, you can see your money flow is looking up. This morning, you can see the difference between yesterday. We saw money flow around the 31, 30. This one already in around 30, 33.5.9. That's almost 34. It's a good movement. The market is looking up, and it's a sign of increasing buying interest in the market. That's from them. Quickly also look at our. It's good that go back and look at our stochastic RSI. Is very important, and going to tell us where the market is going. Is the momentum coming up powerfully? And lastly, we'll not go further without pulling it up. Let's look at what is the T line saying at this point, because you have nothing to tell us. Let's look at change our T line to a normal. It's it's this, yeah, this is the market position now. Good for me, is a good one for the market. You can see where the market is looking, is below the T line, but coming, like I told you, that whatever you see the less action far from the T line, either the down one or up one, it will find a way coming back to the T line or coming down to the. That means now market is trying to break out, heading to T line to break out. That's a good sign. And money flow was seen as I told earlier and looking up, and the momentum here for the general market is also at oversold region. We are seeing that the market try to come up. For me, it's a good one now at this point. Fine. Let's look at the market in 1 hour and 1 hour time frame. And 1 hour frame, you can see the market is gradually trading above the T line. It's a good one. Money flow is already reading 82. It's a good sign. You can see that it maintained. That means for me, there's still strength in the market. And if we're seeing in 1 hour, finally we look at the 15-minute charts. Let's look at it first. On 15-minute chart, it has crossed the T line. It's a good one. Money flow above 80, 83. You can see for me there's strength in the market now coming. Let investors keep their finger crossed as we speak now. Let's quickly look at those high, those gainers leading the top gainers, and see the momentum behind them. Is it what we can see hold on, as the market goes on holiday and resume the coming week? Let's look at them and see. The first one to look at is the access curve. So we'll be looking at it before now. Let's see where it's going from here now. Let's see the momentum, how the momentum is looking at, and what can we do with it. If you look at your 15-minute chart now on the stock, you can see that it's already in green. Look at what the positive, strong as you can see from here. Let's go to 1 hour chart for the same chart. You can see the stock where it went up as I bought. With this is for those that I want to say, tell you that it has broken out a good that sign of sell here, but I'll tell you other indicators are positive. You can see what money flow is reading, and also what you can see in the stochastic oscillator. Let's come to a day chart. On a day chart, you can see the breakout this morning, where you see after seeing the result, maybe this yesterday night, you can see the breakout this morning. But I'll tell you also, some people are still trying to take profit on this stock this morning. But I'll tell you that momentum is strong in assets. For me, let me quickly show you this one chart on assets here. I want to show you something. After trading yesterday, what I saw in assets, just so that I want to show you an asset. I know You can see that access, you can see access trend here. After it has broken above the T line, it has stayed right. You can see it's heading to break down at the 50 days moving average. Now, once it's done that, I can see this is a strong resistance level for access, and this morning it has broken out. You can see where my cursor is going. From here, you can see this rate as I trended before it started coming down. Now it came to this level as at yesterday. At this hour now, they have broken out. This is another strength that the access is going somewhere after breaking out this resistance level of this 90 kobo, 9 naira, 9 naira, 9 naira. You can see it here. It's off now this morning. Up. You can see that the momentum behind access is strong as we speak. And coupled with this result now, access will go far. That means if you're an access, keep your finger crossed and watch the trend. Fine. Let's go back to our live class chart. Yes, I want to just show you that as of yesterday. You can see volume in access here, green. Everything in access is pointing toward to good news. For me, it's a good one. But finally, we'll look at what is happening in fidelity that we just saw the movement in fidelity. Now let's see what is happening in fidelity bank. Let's see what is happening in fidelity bank, so that that will be the last for today. We'll continue this in our live class on on Saturday, hopefully by God grace, so that those that you can see the live chart of uh, of fidelity. Fidelity, you can see here is the strong resistance level, and that was 6 naira 6 naira 602. At this point, we are seeing 6 naira 602, and it's already heading to this, and all eyes on the result. Either it come today or before market open on Tuesday. You can see that the stock has gained almost also 9% this morning. You can see this strong bullish green candle here. And if you come back and see that money flow has crossed 50, there's a sign that fund is entering the stock now. It has upper potential depending on their payout and on the strength of their 1 naira, 1 naira 63 kobo or 64 kobo I saw as that on the account. If that is sustained and they are paying dividend above 50 kobo, even with the interim, we might see more rally on the stock. And for that, if that is, is what we see at finally when the results come, I see the stock breaking out of the 60 naira resistance level. Once it breaks out, that will also kind of initiate or announce another fresh trend for the stock. And it's good that as a trade now is trading above the T line sharply. For me, it's a good one, and that is what investors should also be looking at this point. Yes, there's no cause for alarm. On this note, I'll say thank you for your time. See you tomorrow, and well, I see you on Tuesday. Sorry, God bless you, and also on Saturday afternoon, 12 to 1. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. Bye.